Hey friend, have you ever found yourself just going through the motions? Feeling like something's missing but you can't quite put your finger on it? You are not alone. Life gets so busy sometimes. We're pulled back and forth between our different responsibilities and the demands on our time, and it's really easy to lose touch with what truly lights us up. Here's the good news. Just because you've lost your passion doesn't mean it's gone forever. You can find it again. Sometimes it's simply waiting for you to realign with it, to invite it back into your life. In this video, I'm going to show you a few simple steps that will help you to refine that passion and bring joy back into your life. All right, let's start by talking about the signs. These are kind of the ways that you can tell if maybe you have lost your passion, if you're out of alignment. I'm going to go over 3 today. These are not the only 3 that exist, but they're just a few that are easy to tell and they pop up often. So the first one is feeling like you're stuck on autopilot. Your days just blur together, time is passing at a weird speed, and nothing is very distinctive. That's what I like to call autopilot mode. Do you ever drive home and once you pull in your driveway realize that you don't remember anything from the whole drive, but you were clearly there? You just weren't present? That's what I'm talking about. When our life looks like that, it's not a good sign. So that's indicator number 1 that I want you to pay attention to. Are you on autopilot mode? The second is if you stop looking forward to things. These are things you used to enjoy, maybe fun hobbies or activities with friends. If you are no longer looking forward to these things, that's another indicator that you may have lost your passion. The last indicator I want to talk about today is when you feel disconnected from yourself. What does that mean? This is probably one of the hardest indicators because it happens often. So if there's a nagging sense that there's just something not quite right, but you have no idea what it is, or you don't know how you're feeling, or really any number of things, if you're just feeling a little bit detached, that's a good indicator that something is off in your life. So again, there were 3 things: autopilot mode, not looking forward to anything, and feeling disconnected from yourself. Those are a couple good signs that you might be out of alignment, that you might need to refine your passion. So if any of this resonates with you, don't worry, it's not a sign that you've failed. It's simply an indicator that things need to shift, and that happens all throughout life. It's okay. So again, this is just an indicator. It's good for you to know. So now that we know what to look out for, how do we reignite that spark? How do we find our passion again? How do we reconnect with ourselves? I'm going to give you 3 action steps that you can do today. They might even seem a little bit silly, but it doesn't matter if they work, right? So here are 3 things that you can start off today to try to refine and reignite your passion. The first thing is to start with self-reflection. Set a timer, take 10 minutes and answer this journal prompt. When was the last time that I felt truly alive? And what was I doing? Write down anything that comes to mind. There's no judgment here. This is just between you and your journal. Number 2, experiment with new activities. Sometimes your old passions just might not feel right anymore, and that's okay. Our lives change, our situations change. So try something that you've never done before. Something like maybe hiking or a cooking class or painting. Just try something new and you might really be surprised at what clicks. The last little tip I'm going to give you, number 3, is reconnect with childhood interests. What did you do as a kid before the world told you what was practical? Those interests often hold clues to what really fuels our joy. When we were little, we didn't think about what was practical. We didn't think what was cool or acceptable. We just did what we liked. We did us. So think back to those days when you were truly you before you had that filter of the right thing to do on. That's sometimes one of the best places to start, really. I want to share a quick story. A few years ago, I was exactly where you might be right now, feeling lost, unmotivated. I tried experimenting with a few things. I tried journaling. I was not a journaler. Journaling is something that I've grown with. Nothing quite clicked. So one day I decided to pick up a camera again. As a child, I loved photography. I loved to take photos of my little sisters, of sticks and trees, of anything. It was a passion of mine, but it didn't feel like a grown-up thing. So I set it aside. As I grew, as I started working, it just fell off my plate, right? But when I picked up that camera again, a funny thing happened. Really not funny, amazing, honestly. I started feeling more connected to myself. If you know anything about my history, you'll know that this was a huge pivot moment in my life. I decided, probably 3 or 4 years after this moment, I actually pivoted my entire career. I made a huge shift and moved into photography as a career. It doesn't have to be that drastic for you, right? It might be something super simple, but that's just an example of me when I realized I was out of alignment and looked back to my childhood, looked at the things that used to really inspire me, and they were the things I needed to pick back up. Photography became a doorway for me to rediscovering my purpose. Life goes through so many iterations. Your career, your life path is probably not going to be straight, and that's okay. Our lives shift and change and meander. Honestly, we need to learn how to be more fluid and move with them. And this is one of those things, right? Is finding who you are truly at your core and learning how to align with that so your life can be fluid and can still feel really good. Rediscovering your passion is a journey. It's not a simple step. It's not a one size fits all or one thing is going to work, right? It's a journey of small steps. It's a journey of bumps and sometimes bruises. It's a journey of change and morphing and metamorphosis. But that's okay. Every step counts. This video is really just a starting point, right? It's a few simple steps to get started on your journey of rediscovery. If any of this resonated with you today, I would love for you to subscribe. You can click that button right down there. Follow along for more content on creating a life that really feels great to you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.